that I don't forget to do that, because that's frequently what I do. And then share screen. There we go. Get the thing going. Go on. There we go. Can everyone see that all right? Yeah, cool. So this is Samanya Yoga is me. I'm Karen. I've been teaching now for 10 years. I do one-to-ones, I do group sessions, I do pregnancy, postnatal. I've got lots of training under my belt and lots of experience now. I've been practicing for about 18 years. I started when I moved over to Chicago with my previous job. I was a design engineer for refinery equipment, so not much different to teaching yoga at all. And during the course of that, I just started a yoga class to be able to go and meet people, which quite frequently is sometimes what people do. They just want to get out of the house, they want to do stuff. And then from that, a couple of years later, about 7 years later, wanted to start a family. The job that I was doing definitely did not mean that family life was going to be something that we could manage. And I absolutely loved yoga by then. I'd been practicing for a while, so it's something that I stepped into, and it's definitely helped me over the last 10 years in all sorts of different ways of managing post-birth, pregnancies, everything. So I'm a huge advocate, I absolutely love it. And if I start waxing on a little bit too much, you might just have to get me to stop. So she says, there we go. We're going to start with just a really simple breathing exercise. So I just need you to sit comfortably in the chair, feet flat on the floor if you can. If it feels okay with you, we're going to close the eyes. But if closing the eyes starts to make all your to-do lists start spinning round, or the things that you haven't done, or just anything that's bothering you, all that starts to kind of bubble up to the surface, we're going to just take our eyes and drop them a little bit down towards the floor, so kind of almost past the end of your nose. We're just going to loop those shoulders up towards the ears, around and down. And just start by noticing the breath moving in and out of your body. So we're not changing it at all. We're just letting that breath move in and move out. And then as that breath moves in and out, we're just going to slowly scan through the body. Now in yoga, there is no judgment. So whatever you find in your body is as it's supposed to be in this moment. But we're just bringing the awareness in, moving from the top of the head, slowly down to the toes. So it might go along the lines of, excuse me, my neck's a bit tight, my head's a bit thumping. I can breathe easily. My hips are tight, but my legs feel soft. And it feels nice to have the feet on the floor. So just gently watching through the body, making a note. It's almost like you've got a notepad and you're just jotting it down on the notepad, just checking in with how you're doing physically. And then we're going to check in with how your mental state is, your mind. And we're just going to ask the questions of, does it feel spacious or congested? Does it feel still or agitated? Does it feel light or heavy? Again, just making a note on your notepad, virtually. And then just bringing the awareness back to the breath. And we're going to really focus on the exhale phase of your breath. It's that exhale phase that roots and grounds us to the floor. And then just becoming aware of your surroundings again. Noticing your feet on the floor, your bottom on the chair, maybe the back of the chair. And then gently blink open the eyes. Nice. So just bringing it back into the room. So that's generally how we would start. See if I can get the computer working now. Oh, there we go. So, what comes to mind when you think of yoga? Now, I'm not sure about you, but certainly in social media at the minute, there's a lot of this sort of thing. Interestingly, I showed these pictures I went through the presentation with my children, and I went through these pictures and they went, no, 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 no. I was like, well, that's good. Or is it something more like this? The downward dog, sitting, child's pose, and warrior. Interestingly, that's my children went, yes, 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 yes. So there's lots of different images around of what yoga might be, and for some people it is the fancy poses from the other page, and that's absolutely fine. There is no right or wrong. There is no competition in yoga. It's all about how it feels in your body. So what is yoga? So yoga comes from a Sanskrit word which means yug, which is a really attractive word, but it means to yoke or to bring together. So it's very much about bringing the mind, the body together. It's connecting the mind and the body. And the vehicle that we quite often use to do that is the breath. So we've got the mind, the body, the spirit all coming into balance when we connect it with the breath. And there are lots of different styles, forms and intensities of yoga that we can do. The most common style of yoga is Hatha yoga, which is the 10 type that I tend to, it's like an umbrella form, and Hatha simply means sun, moon. So it's uniting the sun and moon within the body. And it's the common style because it links breath with movement. It's generally a slower, more introductory type of yoga for a lot of people. But there are lots of other styles, as I said. There's hot, Bikram. Bikram's kind of the starting point of hot yoga, but unless it's Bikram trained, it has to be called hot. So it's to do with trademarks, really. Then you've got power, restorative, aerial, acro, yin, vinyasa, the list. Go dog, goat, rabbit, beer, wine, and my students very much like it when I do the chocolate yoga and the gin yoga. But I think that might say something more about my students than anything. But Jessica Char, who's one of the kind of greats in yoga, says that yoga attempts to create a state in which we are always present, really present in every action, in every moment, and that kind of uniting the breath, the mind, the body together. And certainly some of the poses, it's very difficult to think about anything else other than the present moment, especially in some of those stronger poses. So Patanjali is one of the other forefronts of yoga, and he described an 8-limb path, particularly like this picture when I found it. So this is someone doing their yoga, and what you can see there are the 8 different limbs of yoga. So it starts with the yamas and the niyamas, which are seen as the kind of the disciplines, the self-disciplines of how you are to be as a person. And then the yamas are how you are interacting with the world. And then from there, we move into pranayama, which is your breath work. And then we move into the physical poses. So actually the physicality of yoga is actually seen quite far down in terms of this 8-limb path. Then we've got dhyana, or meditation. And then we get into kind of some of the kind of more esoteric ones of pratyahara, so that's the sense withdrawal, and we can do various things with the hands to be able to do that in different places. Dharana, which is concentration, and ultimately what we're trying to achieve in the 8th one is samadhi, which is that sense of peace or enlightenment. So if you just go through, it's an act as a guidelines of how we're supposed to live, so that's the yamas and the niyamas. And it's very much directed towards you as an individual, and it has a spiritual aspect to it as well. So as you can see, yoga is much more than just the physical poses. Patanjali actually says, well, he wrote an entire book called the Yoga Sutras, which is yoga threads. And in the second one, he says that yoga is simply the cessation of the turnings of the mind. So basically it's stopping the mind from whirring round and round and round, which is very much what happens when we get into that stressful situation. And it's very much about calming the monkey mind, which is the mind that tends to take place when our stress levels rise. We kind of go into automatic. It's the monkey that's taking over. It's doing everything. It doesn't have to think about it. It's what we need to be able to survive, really. Come on, computer. There we go. So how can yoga help with stress? Well, as we've seen, it connects us with our body. And the way that the poses work and we move, it's all about releasing tension from the body. So the key areas are our hips and our shoulders. When it comes to stress, our lower back, quite frequently, those are your trigger points. When you feel stressed, quite often it sits in the lower back. So it's all about kind of releasing those tight muscles. It clears the mind as a process of doing, and it kind of, all of this loops back to what Ali was talking about. It's all about working out. By doing all of this, it helps us to work out what's our triggers, what's causing us, and then from that mindfulness, we can then move into a place of recognizing what it is. And what we really do is we press on our parasympathetic nervous system. So you've got two parts of your nervous system. You've got your sympathetic nervous system, which is the one that gets you going. It keeps you active, gets jobs done. And then you've got your parasympathetic nervous system, which is very much your rest and relaxation. And that's what we're looking to press our brake pedal on when it comes to our stress. And all of it comes together in terms of grounding our stress cycle. So stress is a cycle, like a lot of things, and our yoga helps to just kind of press the brake, slow everything down so that we can connect with ourselves and recharge our batteries. Okay, so we are going to head into a little bit of practical work, because I think that's enough waffling on by me, and we need to get into your body. So I'm going to stop the share so that I can see you all more than anything, because when you're in share, you're all a little strip down the edge and I can't see. I'm going to move back onto my chair. If you've got a chair you can sit on, great. You don't have to. It's just that it makes it easier for you to all see what's going on, she says, hopefully. Okay, so just want you, if you are on a chair, just come towards the edge of it. So you're kind of sitting a little bit closer towards the edge with your feet on the floor and you're sat up nice and straight. Okay, so just check of names. Mary, don't worry about having to look at the screen. So if you're twisted that way, I don't want you twisting your neck and looking at the screen. Just listen to my voice, and if anything doesn't make sense, just give me a great big wave. It's the best way I've found of communicating on Zoom when you're all on mute. If something doesn't feel right, doesn't make sense, which quite frequently happens because my mouth and my brain aren't often connected, do this at the screen. I'll figure out that something's not right with someone, okay, and then we can take it from there. So we're just going to sit nice and tall, feel those feet pressing down onto the floor. I'm just going to give Mary a minute to come back. And just while we wait, we're just going to lift those shoulders up towards the ears and take them round and down the back. Okay, so we can inhale to lift those shoulders up and exhale to take them round and down. Let's just do it one more time. Moving nice and slowly. So this mind-body connection, the faster we move, the faster the brain's working, the faster we breathe. So we've got this ability that if we slow the breath down, it generally slows the movement down. But if we can't, for whatever reason, we can slow the movement down, which will then impact everything else. So just drawing those shoulder blades down the back. And then have a sense of those shoulder blades moving towards each other and down the back. Gentle drawing in of the navel. And then again, you're either closing your eyes or just dropping the gaze towards the floor without dropping your chin. Okay? Just taking a moment to notice the feet pressing down on the floor, the hands on the lap. Really finding that exhalation, that brake pedal. And then on your next exhale, just softly take your chin towards your chest. And on the inhale, we're going to take the gaze towards the ceiling. So I want you to imagine you've got a tiny little satsuma underneath your chin, so we're not squishing the chin all the way down, because what that does is it collapses the windpipe and we can't breathe properly. And then similarly, as we take the head and gaze up towards the ceiling, I want you to imagine a little football behind the back of your head. So again, I mean, you can hear it in my voice. If you snap the head back, it kind of constricts the breath again. So just a little gentle nod up and down. So the first ones we're doing are particularly good. If you're sat at a computer all day, we can weave our yoga into every day. We can have a 5-minute break. We can set a timer on the phone and just nod the head up and down. And then after we've nodded the head up and down a couple of times, we'll bring that gaze to stillness in the centre. And then imagining your chin's on a shelf. So we're not putting our chin onto a shelf, okay, which I've seen people do before. Just going to imagine it sat on it. We're going to look over your right shoulder and then slowly nod the head, just like you were doing, up and down as you take the gaze all the way over to the left-hand side. Okay, so you're nodding like you're zigzagging your head all the way over to your left shoulder. We're going to take an inhale, and then as you exhale, we're going to nod the head all the way back in the opposite direction. So nice big nods up and down. I think you're drawing a zigzag with the nose. We're going to do it one more time in each direction. So breathing with the gaze over the shoulder and then exhaling to take it in the opposite direction. Super job. And then we'll zigzag the head back to centre. Nice work. And then from here, all we're going to do, draw a figure of 8 with your nose on its side, so it's more like an infinity symbol, or a figure of 8. And this is helping to balance out your thyroid system, your thyroid and your parathyroid system. All those hormones, bringing them back into balance, which is going to help with the stress as well. And I just want you to notice your movement and just see if you can slow it down just a fraction. So whatever you were doing, just a fraction more, slowing it down and seeing what impact, if any, that has on the body. So it's all about bringing the awareness into the body, noticing what's going on, and then we'll just take that figure of 8 back in the opposite direction. Let's do one more full figure of 8 and then we'll bring it back to centre. Now just want you to be aware of what space you've got around you, that you're not going to punch anything with your hands, okay? Because we're going to take the hands down by your side, turn the palms towards the ceiling. So everyone's shuffling back, finding space. We're going to inhale and softly float the arms up towards the ceiling. So if you've got to slightly truncate it because based on your space, we're going to do that. And then we'll exhale, turn the palms back down towards the floor and bring the arms back down again. Now as we breathe in, I just want you to lift the arms as far as you've had that breath in. So it might be that we stop here. They might be able to go a bit further. And then we're going to exhale to bring those arms back down again. So just 3 more with your breath. Last one. So you might find that the shoulders are just starting to feel a little bit tired now, but that's all okay. We're going to keep the hands down by our side. All we're going to do is going to slide that right hand towards the floor, bringing the left hand to the hip, and then we'll exhale, bring it back to centre, inhale, slide it over to the opposite side, and bring it back to centre. And we can keep that going. We might bring the left hand towards the shoulder, just increasing the stretch. And the slower we move, the more we can feel what's going on in our body. So we're less likely to push ourselves past a point that is helpful and good for us. So just getting into the size of the waist, allowing the lungs to breathe a little deeper. We might reach that left arm up towards the ceiling. Exhale to bring it back, and then over to the opposite side. A lovely big stretch. Bringing it back. Let's do 1 more to each side. You might even have a little bit of a lean. Just careful if you are on the chair. We don't need anybody falling off a chair. Quite like holding onto the chair to make sure I don't. And then bringing it all the way back to centre. We're then going to take your left hand onto your right knee, okay? So opposite hand to opposite knee, it doesn't matter if the lefts and rights aren't quite there. We're then going to take the hand of the knee that you've touched to behind your back. We're going to lift up through the spine, relax the shoulders, and then we're going to turn towards that right hand side of your chair. So we're not pulling ourselves into this, we're using the strength of our core muscles to help rotate us round. We might take the gaze over the back shoulder, but just notice where feels comfortable in your neck. So we don't want to be really stretching that head all the way round, and that's causing discomfort somewhere in the neck. So that's just going to help to kind of send those triggers to the brain that something's going on that we don't like. We'll take 1 more breath here. And then as you exhale, just gently rotate back to centre. Roll those shoulders up towards the ears and round and down. Super job. And then we're going to take it over to the other side. So we're going to take that right hand onto the left knee, left hand onto the lower back. It can always hold onto the chair if that feels a bit better. And we're going to inhale to lift and exhale again, turning towards that left hand side of the chair. And it might be that you find one side is easier to turn to than the other. Again, we're not judging what we find, we're just noting back onto that notepad of, oh, that right side feels easier to twist to than the left, or vice versa. And then we'll inhale to lift and exhale to bring it back towards the front. We're going to take the hands and just gently hold on to the back of your... Should probably check. When you extend your leg, you're not going to kick a table or anything. You might just want to have a little turn to the side so that when you stretch your leg out, you're not going to break your toes, because that really wouldn't be much fun. Okay? So just gently holding onto the back of the leg, nice and soft through the shoulders. We're going to straighten that leg as much as it can and then bend it back down again. So just bending and straightening, getting the quad muscle working, the hamstring working. These big, strong leg muscles are really good, especially if you're tired, to get them working a little bit, gets the blood flowing, the lymphatic system moving. And then next time you've got your leg extended, we're just going to take the toes around, little circle, around like that, nothing fancy, just getting mobility through the ankle, and then let's take it back in the opposite direction. And then gently bringing that foot back down towards the floor. And just for a moment, notice if there's any difference between the legs. It might feel that sometimes one leg feels longer than the other, or it might feel fatter. It's just because we've got that energy flowing, and sometimes just taking that pause to notice how it feels can make a difference. And then we're going to do exactly the same to the opposite side. So we're going to hold on to the back of the right leg, relax down through the shoulders, and then bend and straighten that leg as much as it's willing. So these ones are really nice to do lying down on the floor with your leg lifted like this, okay? Not necessarily one to do in the office. I was trying to do stuff that would help you during the course of a day. But this can be really nice at the end of the day, just to get that circulation going through the legs. Really good to help in terms of sleep as well. And then we're going to keep the leg extended, rotate through the ankle. So anything which takes those legs above the heart really helps to lower the blood pressure, calm the mind. Take those circles back in the opposite direction. And then bring that back down towards the floor. So again, just making sure we're sat towards the edge of the chair. Just going to turn to the side because it's easier to show you what we're going to do next. Okay, you're going to bring the hands onto your knees. You're going to sit up nice and tall. And as you exhale, you're going to draw that navel back towards the spine, look towards your navel and really round through the back. So you're making a C shape with your back. And then as you inhale, we're going to lift up through the spine, tend the belly forward, the heart forward, squeeze those shoulder blades together and look towards the ceiling. So the exhale, drawing that navel in, rounding through the back, chin to chest, gaze to navel. And then inhaling, heart forward, belly forward, shoulder blades down the back. Okay, so this is a sitting cat stretch. So this is quite often done on all fours. A really good one for your lower back and your hips. It's helping to loosen off the hips, helping to loosen off the lower back. A nice one to do, helps to release the upper back, the shoulders. We're going to do one more. And then we're going to bring ourselves up to standing. So hopefully you've got a little bit of space to be able to stand up. Don't worry too much about your screens, okay? I'm a well-practiced art of being able to see various different movements based on what body parts I can see. And we're just going to stand those feet slightly wider than hip width apart, so you've got a nice, firm, stable base. You're soft through the knees. We're not locking those knees out, nice and soft. I'm going to bring the hands onto your hips, okay? We're just going to start small circles through those hips. Moving the hips around in circles. This is helping to mobilise the hips, which will also help to ease out the lower back. We can start nice and small with those circles and then start to take them bigger and bigger and bigger. You can start slow, you can get really fast if you really want to, okay? But just especially when it comes to stress management, the slower the better. And then let's take those circles back in the opposite direction. Just feeling what's going on through the hips, noticing those feet on the floor. And then let's bring that back to stillness. I'm going to take the hands from the hips to the shoulders. And we're going to take the elbows around in circles. We're trying to get through all the different joints of the body, helping to free up the movement. And then let's take those circles back in the opposite direction. And then let's bring that movement to stillness. I'm going to take the thumbs into the hands, wrap the fingers around, glue the elbows into the sides of the waist and just take those wrists around in circles. So it's really good if we've done lots of computer work just to get the wrists going, keeping those elbows glued in as much as we can and then taking them back in the opposite direction. You might, like my wrists, have a bit of snap, crackle and pop going off. That's all good. It just means the synovial fluid's getting into the joints, lubricating those joints, and then give them a bit of a shake. Okay. I'm just going to turn to the side so you can see visually what we're going to be doing next. So we're going to take the hands onto the sides of the waist. We're going to bend those knees nice and soft. You're drawing your navel in towards the spine. Tuck the chin in. And as you exhale, we're going to roll nice and slowly all the way down, keeping that navel tucked in, all the way down towards the floor. Letting the head go, letting the arms go. Take a full round of breath here. And then on your inhale, pushing down through the feet, slowly rolling all the way back up. The last thing to come up to your head. Awesome. Well done, everybody. Lovely and slow. And then we're going to do it again. So take a nice big breath in, stood upright. As you exhale, tucking that chin in, rolling all the way down towards the floor, taking a full round of breath on the floor or towards the floor. And then using your inhale to push down through those feet, draw the navel in and come all the way back up to standing. Nice work. We're then going to take both hands onto your left hip, soften through the knees again. Same action, okay? We're sliding the hands down that left leg all the way towards the floor, keeping the knees above the ankles, letting the head go, taking a full round of breath at the bottom, and then nice and slowly bringing it all the way back up. And then we're going to take it all the way over to the opposite side, softening through the knees, rolling all the way back down towards the floor. And rolling all the way back up again. Nice and slowly with the breath. And then coming back up to standing, just noticing where the weight is in your feet, noticing your hips above your ankles, your shoulders above your hips. We'll turn the palms and just open them forward. Head's fully supported by that lovely structure of muscles underneath the neck and the shoulders, so you don't have to hold your head up. Just find that breath again. Notice the breath moving in and out of your body. And we're going to imagine that breath coming from our feet all the way up to the crown of the head. As you inhale and as you exhale, it's going to turn around and go all the way back down. And as it goes down, it's taking with it all the stress, all the tension, any negativity or tiredness. As you inhale, you're drawing in strength from the earth, drawing up vitality, peace, and then exhaling, letting go of the tension and negativity. Take one more breath like that. And then we're going to bring the hands and just press the palms together at your heart. We're coming into a balance, so just bring those feet a little bit closer towards each other. You can always have your chair there as a bit of support should you feel a bit unstable. We're going to start by just peeling that left heel, away from the floor. Okay, so just watch if you've kind of swayed out to the side. We're going to gather that in and up, thinking lifting out of the hip, and we're going to turn the knee out to the side. So this is our little sapling tree, and we can stay here. We can walk the feet in so that the sole of your left foot's resting on the ankle of your right foot. Just changes the centre of balance slightly. We might be able to peel the foot a little further away from the floor. We might peel it away from the floor and the wobbles start and we go, no, we'll bring it back down again. Okay? We might even be able to slide it up to your thigh. The only place I don't want it is on your knee, because your knee's a really mobile joint that can get pushed out of alignment. And then we'll bring that knee back to the front, the foot to the floor. Take a big breath in, reach those arms up. Exhale, bring the hands back down through centre. We're going to take it over to the opposite side. So just peeling your right heel away from the floor to start with, thinking about drawing in and up, drawing in the navel, opening the knee out to the side. It may be keeping the foot there, maybe walking it in. Finding the wobble, and if the foot and the ankle are twitching, that's all good stuff that's going on. It's all part of the learning process. All those neural pathways, it's helping with the concentration. That is one of the lens of yoga, and then taking it to wherever feels appropriate. To be kind to yourself. And then bringing that knee back to the centre, back to the floor, feeling those feet back on the floor. We'll take another big breath in. And exhale, bring it all the way back down to your heart. Okay, so just take a moment to notice how that feels. So you can close your eyes again or drop the gaze towards the floor. Just notice how the body is feeling now. So take that little body scan that we did right at the very beginning, from your head down to your toes. Has anything changed? And it's absolutely okay if it's all still the same. Okay? Just possibly we haven't managed to press the buttons through the poses tonight that have managed to release stuff. How does the body feel? Does it feel still or agitated? Light or heavy? Taking that same inquiry to the mind. Is it light or heavy? Still or agitated? And then bringing the awareness back to the breath and just noticing the quality of the breath again. And then we'll blink open the eyes, relax the arms down, and then come and sit back on your chair. And we'll just have a little check-in and see if I can get this whole share screen thing going again. Okay, so just going to do a little bit of reflection. You can write this down for yourself, you can put it in the chat function, you can keep it to yourself, but it's very much part of yoga. It's working out, how do you feel now? You know, does it feel any different? And sometimes I can step onto my yoga mat and it feels completely different. There's times I get on feeling a bit agitated. I get through all the way through the practice and I still feel agitated at the end of it, and I go, okay, so that wasn't quite right for today. There are other times I step on feeling really energized and I do a really slow practice. It's all very changeable, and the thing is that the more you practice, the more you start to notice these things within the body. Now I've got to figure out how to do chat at the same time. Here we go. So Caroline feels softer, mind is calmer. Awesome. Feeling warmer, mind quieter. Excellent. We've got I feel happy as well. So those, you know, whatever you find is absolutely what you feel. You know, there is no right or wrong in yoga. It's just about bringing an awareness into the mind, into the body, into the breath, bringing it all together, and hopefully at the end of a session just feeling a lot more connected, slowed down, calmer, peaceful, content, cared for. Oh, lovely. And feeling softer, more energized. Yes, we can do that too, and with a calm mind. And it's just about calming the mind, and actually when we get the mind calm, we can see more clearly. So we can have all sorts of problems that are bothering us, and then we kind of check in with everything, and maybe solutions come up on your yoga mat. Awesome. Okay, so we're going to just close off with a little guided visualization, which is how it's the relaxation phase of our yoga practice. So again, just come into a comfortable seated position. Okay, you can get as comfy as you want for this, so you can really settle down into the space that you're in. And again, just close your eyes or drop the gaze towards the floor. Just allow everything to soften. Allow yourself to become comfortable. Visualization really helps to put your body in a more relaxed state. Just as your body can become tense and stressed in response to thoughts that make us angry and anxious, it can also become calm and relaxed in response to calming, peaceful and pleasant thoughts. So just want you to imagine being in a place that is peaceful and relaxing to you. It might be a place that you've actually been to in the past, or it might be a place that you create in your imagination. For some people it might be a quiet beach. Others it might be a cool shady spot in the woods, or snuggled in front of a fireplace, or maybe even fishing. Just any place that is peaceful and soothing to you. And we're going to use all of our senses in your imagination. I'm going to start by just seeing what's in your peaceful place. So it might be the waves gently lapping on the shore, or light filtering through the leaves of a tree. You might hear the birds singing, or the leaves rustling. And then what smells can you sense? Can you smell flowers, the grass, the salt air? Can you feel the sun or a gentle breeze on your skin? Feel that you're actually there. Make it as real as possible in your imagination. And as you do, just smile and let your body relax. Enjoy being in your peaceful place, absorbing all the sights, the sounds, the smells. This is a visualization that you can come back to any time you need to relax. And then we'll just gently wiggle the toes and the fingers. Moisten the lips and maybe gently move the head a little from side to side. Increasing the awareness through the body, we'll just float those arms up and overhead, have a full body stretch. And exhale, float those arms back down and blink open the eyes again. And as I do so, and I realise that I've put you all into a nice peaceful place, I've realised that my last slide is going to be the silliest slide of all, because it's got information on it that's just going to do this now. Because after 10 years of teaching, I've tried to talk to people at the end of class and it all goes in a kind of blah 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 sort of way. But anyway, so I'm Samanya Yoga. I've got classes online at the minute, all various group classes. I do private sessions online as well, or face-to-face. You're welcome to have a free 20-minute consultation, just to have a chat about what you might want to do, what might be good for you, how you want to work. And if you use the code StressAwareness21, you'll get 10% off a group class or a private session. But you can drop me an email via the website, or you should all have my email from getting the Zoom link, and I'll put all of this into the email that I'll send out with the recording, because like I say, it's all kind of going to do this. at the minute. It'll wash over you. And I'll just end with that lovely quote from Brené Brown, which says that it takes courage to say yes to rest and play in a culture where exhaustion is seen as a status symbol. I think that's so true of how we are at the minute. Just the ability to rest, the ability to press on that brake pedal is just not seen as something valuable at the minute. And just doing even just 5 minutes of yoga every day in the morning can make such a difference to how we respond to stress and our stress resilience. So I'm just going to bring my hands together at my heart and say to all of you, namaste, because that's how I would generally close a yoga class. And it's namaste simply means the light in me salutes the light in you. So thank you for sharing this time and space with us. I'm going to stop share, and I think we'll be able to see Ali, who is there. She's there. Awesome. I'm gonna if you want to unmute yourself, Ali, there we go. Do I need to do you need to share anything? Do you want me to co-host you?
No, I was just going to put something in the chat actually. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm so sorry I missed that, but you're all looking really chilled. So I'm guessing it was good and worth it. Yeah. Thanks, Karen.
You're welcome.
Yeah. And yeah. And I just wanted to bob in to say, yeah, this is it, isn't it? It's the end of our stress series. So hopefully we'll see you all in the future somehow, somewhere, which would be really nice. And we put together just a really short, hopefully it is short, but I hope you think it's short, just a feedback questionnaire, just to give us a bit of feedback so that if we were to run something like this again, it would be really helpful because it's the first time we've done it. So that'd be really helpful to know what worked for you, what was helpful, and anything that wasn't that we could do differently. So if you wouldn't mind doing that for us, that'd be great. So I thought I'd just post that in the chat. But if anyone else wanted to add anything, I think Jess and Jana, you've got a couple of things to share as well, haven't you? If you can speak after that.
Do you want to go? Do you want to go first, Jess, or should I? Okay, so I go first. I'm trying to gather my thoughts now. Thank you. Thank you, Karen. So one of the things that we were discussing this week, the 5 of us, was like, we had such a lovely group. How can we carry on, getting together and doing something to keep each other going? So one thing that I have on the side, that I think just Ali from this group is in it, I have a little group called Self-Love, and we just post each other little things during, the day to keep each other going and stuff like that. We share little things like that. It's 15 of us, so it's not many people, but it's people that we trust, people that we invite in, and so on and so forth. And one of the things I'm going to be focusing for me with that group, it's the what I'm calling the soulful connection project. And it is pretty much just getting people to connect, people that you might not know yet, but is in the same vibe as you. So people that are interested in looking after themselves, people that are interested in mindfulness, in yoga, in anything that's good, let's say. And so Ali gonna be sending the wrap-up email. Anyone that would like to take part on the Soulful Connection project is pretty much, think about the Secret Santa. You're going to get a name and a number of someone that you can connect with. And I'm going to be sharing some topics of conversation. So it's not going to be too weird, right? Contact someone is like, hello, who are you? So there's little topics that I'm going to be sharing twice a week is the idea in the social media that you can use to contact that person. So if anyone wants to join in, you just can drop an email to Ali or reply to her email, the wrap-up email, just letting her know with your name and your number. I'm not going to share with everyone, guys. It's one person. It's just one person I'm going to share your name and your number with, so you can contact each other. So that's the whole idea, to carry on the good thing that we actually has been doing for the last month, to keep that going. Not stop here, just carry on, keep that going. And that's me. Thank you very much. So lovely seeing you guys in the last 5 weeks. Well done, you.
Hi everyone. Yeah, the only thing I was going to say is that I've written a blog today just with a few sort of mindfulness tips for an aware life. I won't bother to put the link in just here because I don't think I can quite remember it, but Ali can include it in the wrap-up email. And yeah, I've really enjoyed it, really enjoyed the series, and it's nice to see everybody this evening, and I definitely feel better for that. So big thank you to Karen. Yeah, great.
Yeah, great. Oh, I can't type. Yeah. Sorry, Amanda's just asked in the chat if I can email the link to the form as well. Yes, so yes, of course I will. Yeah, thank you. Yep, so you haven't got to do it right now. You probably don't feel like it. You're like, whoa, spaced out. Yeah, nice and relaxed. Yeah, perfect. Okay. Oh, it's a bit sad, actually, not seeing your lovely faces on a Tuesday, but yes, well done for being here. Who is it? I think it was Sonia, wasn't it? I said to you, I think you've been the one that's consistently been here every week. So you win the award. I don't have an award, but just you. Yeah, there you go. Round of applause for everyone being every week. Well done for investing the time in yourself. So yeah. Okay. Anyone want to say anything else, or should we just all bid you well and yeah, just take care of yourself?